Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of 3 Years On. In this episode, we'll be checking out some communities that were left broken after the quakes and seeing what they're doing to regain their hope and spirit again. We will be visiting two areas of the city which have both created street markets as a result of the quakes, Littleton and Mount Pleasant. These markets allow the locals to sell their produce to the rest of Christchurch and gives them a real sense of community to the area, after their communities have been torn apart both physically and emotionally. Let's go check them out.
It was a fairly strong effect here. People's lives were rearranged, changed and in some ways destroyed. Whether it be houses or people you know because your friends left to go somewhere else, because some kids couldn't handle shakes, so if the kids couldn't handle it, the parents packed them up and went. After the earthquakes, I was at a loose end, one could say. Things had changed in my life quite dramatically. And I felt the best, rather than going internal, I stepped out into the community and tried to get involved in more things. Whether that be working at the petanque court, helping set up things there. I built a sand pit for the kids to play in, so the mums had somewhere for the kids to take their kids. And I just wanted to get more involved with the community. And then they called me when there was only two people doing the managing aspect, and one of them wanted to leave, so I said, okay, I'll come and do it at the school. And it's been good because I've got to know the stallholders before we've moved it to the street, so I've had a relationship with them before we moved and expanded, sort of thing. It used to be at the Littleton school, and it was in the larger part, and then we had to move it to a smaller area of the school. We looked at the street and there were no shops open. Basically, we had 4 shops in the entire street, and this street used to just burst on a Saturday. Used to be full both sides of the footpath and heaps of shops and the farmers market. So we thought if we brought this here into the street, we'd bring those people who come to the farmers market still, and we'd bring that people into the street, into London Street, and actually reinvigorate the shopping district of London Street. But the majority of the feedback has been very positive. I think we're drawing more Christchurch people now, whether that be advertising or whether it be the fact that it's something new. I don't think there's been very many farmers markets in streets. Normally they're on land or in schools, like most of them, I think. To close the street down and actually put it in, people are like, oh wow, that's like European. There's a European aspect to it, like Italian markets and things like that. So I think people are attracted by that little bit of difference, It's good eat here food, and it's good healthy vegetables to take home. Good healthy, there's a spirit with this market that some stallholders tell me isn't with other markets. We're kind of like, we like food and we like people.
So how do you think the market affects the local community itself?
Gives us a place for people to shop. A lot of people meet, stop, talk, have coffee, get their bacon buddy for breakfast, if you want to have a bacon buddy for breakfast. And so they meet up here and sort of meet their friends that they might not have caught up with during the week, find out what they're doing the next night, that sort of thing. So I think it's helped the reconnection of people. I think the people of Christchurch showed an immense amount of heart after the earthquakes. We pulled together, we helped our neighbours, we helped each other. And I want to see that continue. Rather than being separate from each other, that we actually get that we are communities, or we have a common unity. If community means something, it means common unity, and we do have common unity. In those disaster sort of times, people do pull together, and I'd like that to keep going.
I think for a long time it was pretty low because people were scared of coming through the tunnel. Now people are getting used to the idea of being able to move through there. The market here is building up, especially since it moved into the street. When it was up in the school, it was good, but it was crowded. It was hard to make space for people, This gives us more room to move around. And so I think the combination of moving here And people now feeling it's okay to come through the tunnel has made a big difference.
So would you say the earthquake's almost been beneficial to the market?
In the long term, maybe, because so much shopping in Christchurch got changed, you know. I mean, we haven't got a supermarket now. And so more people do more of their shopping in the market rather than going all the way into town to get stuff, you know. I mean, locals shop rather than going into town. But town people come over here because it's different from what's over there. And it's like a day out, you know, and if the weather's nice, there's lots of other things you can do.
How do you think the earthquake has affected the community of Littleton?
Oh, well, it's knocked us back hard, you know. So much loss. I mean, my daughter and I, we lost our business. It was on the corner there now where there's all those seats and tables and stuff. We had a deli cafe there. Gone. The whole life sort of. I mean, I've been working there 7 days a week, you know, we both had, and suddenly that's all disappeared. And you keep going in small ways. And what's happened here in Littleton, I don't know so much about in town, because I don't go over there very often. What's happened here is that people have sort of banded together and helped each other in a very strong way.
How do you think the earthquakes affected the market?
It's definitely changed the size of those who come in terms of the number of people who come. But it's now that they moved back down onto London Street, it's bounced back a wee bit. I think it's culturally tightened it up a little bit, and it's more the diehards now. I love that it's largely local and that they work really hard to keep it that way. So whether it's sourced within Canterbury or made within Canterbury, I like supporting the community.
Yeah.
It definitely, there's a feel-good factor there.
Yeah. Do you think the market has helped strengthen the community of Littleton?
Yes.
In what kind of way?
It's given them something to rally around, and it's given them an identity. For a lot of people that don't feel comfortable coming back through the tunnel, it's given something that everyone who's here, and even those who aren't living in the town but want to come through, something to focus on, and a real consistency to the week and to the year.
So would you say that you've made kind of stronger connections through the market?
Definitely made stronger connections through the market. You get to know the stall holders, you get to see friends. I mean, most weeks you see people that you haven't seen in a couple of weeks, and it's like, oh, hey, how are you? Yeah. And catch up a bit. It's a bit of surprise. You never know who you're going to see when you come.
What are your kind of other hopes for Christchurch on a larger scale, you know, as far as the rebuild goes? Do you want anything to be part of the new city in particular?
It needs to have a sense of identity and not be something that's thrown together because it was cheap to build with tilt slab or cheap to throw things in one area, not in another. I'd really make sure that that we can retain something that's unique to us as Cantabrians and forge on, strengthen through that.
Yes, I feel that, yes, especially after the earthquake, because it's all the supermarket here or the dairies or all these things is demolished or collapsed. So I think that we affected the local people here, you know, and they feel that we are helping them, you know, through our interests as well. But I think it will be good. It will be good, yeah, because it's you know, it's we pass already the hard time, you know, which is make a bridge between you or the trust between you and the customers, you know. So I hope, you know, I cannot make any prediction or, you know, but I hope if it still will, yeah, because we have a loyal customers now.
So Natalie, how did you end up developing your stall at this market?
Well, I'm actually fundraising for a school trip So I'm going to Cambodia and Vietnam at the end of this year, and so Tom offered me a place in the market to fundraise for this. I think it's got a really great atmosphere, you know, it brings the community together because everyone's here and they're all just talking and like sitting down with their coffees, and so I think that's really nice. I think they they talk together and they sell together, and I've met so many people just from being here, because you're here for like half a day, and so you meet all these different types of people as well.
So how long have you lived in this area for, Jackie?
Lived here for 57 years.
Fantastic.
Up on the hills.
So was your house badly affected by the earthquake?
Not badly, no. We had a lot of cosmetic damage, but not structural damage, and a lot of land damage. Brought everyone together because they all come down to the market and, you know, they communicate, but then we tend to go back up on their little hills.
Yeah.
Well, you can get all sorts of fresh vegetables and all sorts of goodies if you wanted the goodies, and it's the social sort of side of it too, which is nice. You meet your neighbours down here even if you don't meet them at home. I think it must have come through in the local paper, and we came down straight away to see what it was all about. We thought it was lovely to have a farmers market in the district.
As we can see, the city has changed so much, but from this we can see the increasing advantages of what has happened. People are keeping their communities alive and new things are being created. Littleton and Mount Pleasant are just two of the many areas of the city where a sense of community has been strengthened. It will take time for the city to regrow, but with communities such as these, there is a definite possibility that we can return to being the Garden City of New Zealand with that well-known sense of friendly community vibe.